Aziz, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. See what you're looking at? Pan. Pan. Even more interesting, the A, out of all these words, only the A has the cap off. And in case if you don't understand or get this symbol is this symbol. Right here. See that symbol right there? On your dollar bill? See the cap is off, the A? That's that. And that means that they've won. That's what that means. But what's even more interesting about this is that there's a skull or a decrepit face right behind the coronavirus pandemic word. If you look close, if you look correctly, what you'll see is a dark spot here and a dark spot here. A nose. See the nose? See it? See that nostril? This is probably the mouth. It's all messed up. It's a skull. It's a decrepit skull with a horn at the top. It almost looks like one of these Egyptian ornaments that you see on these Egyptian I forgot what it's called, the mummies, but there's another word for them. Anyway, yeah, out of this whole word, ironically on pan, right? Now what's funny is that I didn't see this at first until right before I started to do this video. I always think I'm going to do something different, and then right at the end something comes and changes it up like this, and I didn't even notice this at first. But this is their symbolism. This is what they do. They play with us. They're laughing at us. There's probably more symbols in there, more images. I don't know what these images are really there, but think about it. Is it moral that CNN should put? I mean, if they want to show a skull, just show a skull. But they don't. They show it subliminally. It's subliminal, and some of us see it and don't realize we're seeing it. So check out this video. Check this out.
This morning, the death toll in New York State is nearing 1,000. Hospitals are.
You know that face?
New York City's mayor warning.
You know that face? That was in the video before this one. Yeah, the actor in a movie that's a newscaster, and we're supposed to be taking them seriously, right? It's the CNN. We have actors. And mind you, there was a time where it was, I don't remember what, something I've read about morality concerning news and fiction, meaning like movies, that they're not, you're actually not supposed to have newscasters in movies, because it the value, the moral value, the mental value that the viewer essentially takes on is that you don't know if it's an act or not. So there's crossing the lines here. Basically, is what's happening. It's not. You're not supposed to have newscasters play roles in movies playing the same role, because they lose credibility. Do you start taking them serious? It's like the boy who cried wolf one too many times. And can you really take them seriously? Are they acting? Yeah. This man looks in the mirror all day to make sure how he knows how he looks to you. That's what it takes to be here. You got to be arrogant. You got to be self-centered. You got to be you got to be a lot of things. And humble and fair and kind. These people are not. They're liars. They're nothing but liars. This is, and it's sad that this is happening. But check this out. They came to Brooklyn, right down the block, Brooksdale Hospital. And I want you to realize before you watch what I'm going to show is that every doctor knows that a cold is not a virus. But they're all trying to present it, even doctors. And you got to realize that if these people are on TV lying to you and not listening to the people who are trying to tell you that you can't get a cold like that, even a severe cold, I don't know what to tell you. It's just a sad day for the whole world because they've won. 13 hours ago. They won. So, I'm going to play the rest.
They will run out of supplies by this weekend. Now, because
And watch the picture that they paint.
How contagious it is, just how fast it moves, and playing technical challenges, we really haven't been able to show you what this crisis looks like on the front line.
Yeah, they've studied what they haven't been able to show us.
Exclusive look inside of Brooklyn Hospital on the front lines of this pandemic. CNN's Miguel Marquez joins us now.
Watch what he says about the community.
Been in actual war zones. The descriptions you give as to what you have seen inside these hospitals, reminiscent to me of actual war zones.
It's funny you say that because all along in this pandemic, that is what I have been thinking about, whether it's Iraq or Afghanistan, in many, many ways, not just the hospitals, but now that I've been to one, certainly the hospitals. We were invited to Brookdale Hospital in the Brownsville area, the neighborhood of Brooklyn. It's largely African-American, it's largely Latino. It's also one of the poorest in the city. On a normal day, they have plenty to keep them busy, but coronavirus has pushed that hospital to the edge.
To the edge. So realize that people are watching the news and they're taking it all seriously. They're believing that these people are being honest about telling you what's really going on. Mind you, 34,000 deaths. 2,400 deaths, but just last week only 13 people had died. So that's dramatic. But who's keeping count of this? I'll tell you who's keeping count. Source, Johns Hopkins University. Now, who put a university in charge of the sources? I mean, they're not a health agency. They're not even a hospital. But okay, I know they got, I mean, I guess they are. Maybe they do teach some type of... Point is, why is the source Johns Hopkins University and not like a health administration of some kind or some kind of hospital of some kind? I mean, does that seem not strange to you? If it doesn't, all right, maybe I'm wrong. But these numbers are greatly exaggerated. I'm not doubting that people are dying, but it's influenza, it's pneumonia, it's spring. That's what happens right now. This happens every year, but now they're targeting the black community. Because at one point there was something going around saying that black people couldn't get it. Whatever. Whatever. All right? I don't think white people are getting it. Personally, I know nobody's getting it. But people watch so much TV and believe it so wholeheartedly is that they believe what they see on TV and not realize they're not seeing it in real life. Don't get me wrong. If you're sitting next to somebody and they start coughing and spitting up blood and they keel over and then you see it again and again, then you have reason for concern then. But that's not happening. What you're seeing is people who are catching, who have the flu. It's influenza. And maybe there's more of it this time because maybe there's something in the water or maybe there's something in the air. And they're not telling us in such a way that's causing it to be more. So, I mean, whether it is or is not, I mean, you got to take your own risk. You got to walk out your own front door and hope you don't step on a nail or fall down the steps, right? It's all a chance. Everything's chance. But they're making their own chance here. They're really painting a picture, and because of that, people are running to the hospital, especially the poor community. They're the most uneducated. So they run to the hospital believing that they got something, and some of them do. And most of them do have a flu. But they're all going there in one source and one time, and it makes it seem as if to the people who work there and to the people who are watching TV. It's sad. This is your God now. This is God now. There's no more inner nothing that's not about inner peace, none of that. This is your God now. This is who we listen to. Considering that the news has this much power, that they can make people put on masks and believe that there's some imaginary thing in the air that you could breathe and die from, well, yeah, it could happen. But if they could convince so many people to do that, that means that they could convince people to do beautiful, loving things to each other. Why doesn't the news say, hug people more? Why don't you love your neighbor more? Why don't you help your neighbor more? Why don't you do this for your neighbor more? No, the news is telling you to put on a mask and stay 6 feet away. That's what they're doing. Notice the word 6. They want people to stay 6 feet away. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So it's always 6, 6, 6. So you always have 6 on your mind. That's subliminal. They want you to have 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 on your mind. It's deep. But that's what happens when so many are asleep. And it seems like people like me are nuts. But that's fine. That's part of the prophecy, I guess. This is truly revelations happening, but in a false way. Jesus ain't going to come back right now because this is a false event. What you're going to deal with, if at all anything comes, is an antichrist. And at the same time, they've already said